let's get started. Card number 1 here. And this is already like a bang, like we're starting with a banger, like Copper Coat Vanguard. So if I recall, or like I'm pretty 99% sure this is how it works, so this Seft is not gonna be draftable. It's literally just for constructed, and I think it will be legal in like every constructed format. So it's like a constructed exclusive set to add towards like things. And I think it drops literally next week. So I think it literally drops next week. Anyway, I don't know. I feel like this set hole came out of like nowhere, but for me, a constructed enjoyer, this is gonna be great. So yeah, a standard version of alchemy, but it also is obviously legal in like Pioneer and stuff like that. So on the 12th, yeah, it drops on the 12th. So anyways, that's exciting. Some new cards to like brew with super quickly. Anyways, yeah, I'm mostly a standard / Pioneer / every format on Arena gamer, right? So I am familiar with Modern, so we could mostly be looking at like Standard and Pioneer with a little bit of Modern on the side, see if the cards are like relevant. But obviously like Modern's not my like forte or anything, so mostly be looking at the cards from like a Standard or Pioneer POV. Speaking of Pioneer, Copper Coat Vanguard, a 2-mana 2/2 human soldier. Each other human you control gets +1/+0 and has ward 1. Honestly, I think this could be a I mean, to be honest, the tags like human soldier makes me believe that this card is definitely seen play in standard. It's literally like an extra like mini lord, but also gives your cards like ward 1, which is like fantastic. Imagine like, turn 2 like Talia, turn 3 Copper Coat Vanguard or some stuff like that, and then put ward on the Talia, so then you're just taxing everything at that point. Like, but that's speaking of standard. Like the same thing could also kind of for like Pioneer. Like I don't know how much they are gonna value like ward and +1/+0, but I imagine quite a lot. Like, so this is a great pickup for I think soldier or humans in Pioneer and soldiers in standard. Yeah, tax the fuck out of everyone and a lord. Like it does everything. Like that's a really good card, Another 2-mana soldier, kind of like a lord and ward 1. I mean, that's like perfect. Like, I mean, if you would give this card a rate, I'd give it like, I don't know, like 4.5 out of 5. Like this thing is just gonna see a shitload of play. And it's gonna come on too. Like, sheesh, I need to get this one here. Very good card. A great way to start. All right. Let's have a look at the next one here. There's only like 50 cards or something in the set. So what is that? Deification? As deification enters the battlefield, choose a planeswalker type. What? Planeswalkers you control of the chosen type have hexproof. As long as you control a creature, if damage dealt to a planeswalker controller of the chosen type would result in all loyalty counters on it being removed. Instead, all but one of those counters being removed. What the hell? No, I don't know what to think about that. Where is this relevant for? Like, what do they even mean? Choose a planeswalker type. I guess you could hit like multiple Elspeths or something. Like, I don't know. This reads like a commander card to me. Genre as a type. Planeswalker tribal stuff. Yeah, but I mean, damn, do you really want this? Like, I mean, this is just something like if I see someone is like a commander, like super friend enjoyer or something, like they'll be like, sure, I can throw a one-off deification in my fucking deck and make it work, but Mark of Tribal and Modern. A 2-mana enchantment that gives your planeswalkers hexproof being played in Modern? I don't know about that. Like I said, I'm no expert, but that seems wild to me in that environment. Basically, like 2 mana do nothing. Like it just enters the battlefield for 2 mana. Like I don't think Modern is a form of that. It just reads to me like an extra commander card. I don't know. I think that's kind of how I feel about it. Yeah, let's go to the next one. I also have a bunch of fun decks brewed up for you guys. I have like 3 new decks for Explorer brewed up that I have a look at in a little bit, guys. So Harness Snubhorn. 4 mana 2/5 Dinosaur. Jesus. Whenever Snowborn deals combat damage to a player, return target artifact or enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Yeah. Nah, I don't know, guys. No, it's a miss for me. I'm not sure what would possibly want this. The only thing I could maybe see is it's like a tease for like the Ixalan set coming out in like what, like 7-8 months, whenever that is. Eve. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one. Metropolis Reformer. Like maybe if it had like trample instead of vigilance, but it's got fucking vigilance. Anyway. Metropolis Reformer. 3 mana, 2/3 Angel Cleric. Okay, Flying Vigilance. You have Hexproof. Whenever a Metropolis Reformer is dealt damage, you gain that much life. Well, that's interesting. That's very interesting. It's kind of like a white ley line on like an angel. Isn't it? Or how does the white ley line read? That's just like... Am I thinking of like... Or does the white ley line have more text to it? It could be, to be honest. I'm not a white ley line player. I know it gives hexproof to the face. Yeah, it says you have hexproof. Yeah. Hey. Megarodon, thank you for the sub. Appreciate you so much. With Prime, thank you. Thank you. Right, okay, just a white ley line on an angel. 2/3 for 3. Flying Vigilance. I'm thinking like, you know, if it maybe this needed to be like sideboard deck for red deck wins. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe I don't think this is gonna be relevant in like any other older format. I don't think. I think maybe I see it in standard because hexproof obviously prevents you from getting hit by like Invoke Despair, for instance. Like, yeah, this could work with like Aaron and Giada. Invoke Despair stuff, maybe. I mean, in general, when I think of like angels rather have like hexproof on creatures than yourself or something. Yeah, I don't see angels in especially like the 3 mana slot is like so like stacked in angels. Thinking maybe it's a standard card. Burn hate. I mean, burn would easily, at least for me, if I play burn, mono red burn against angels, I'm killing the angels, right? Because that's how everything works. Like, if there's no like resplendent angel on the board or like Bishop of Wings or whatever else, the angels that gain them life, if you let those live and throw your burn spells face, you're losing the game. So like, how much does, you know? Still, this is three toughness. You could just throw a lightning strike on this and you could go face again. Like, it seems like a hate card for like Invoke Despair or something like that, but or like Liliana, like Thought Seizes, like hand disruption stuff, you know. But I don't know how much Angels values that, you know. They gain 3 though. Yeah, sure. But if you need to remove a creature so you can go face again and then throw your other shit face, like that's fine. Control decks, yeah, maybe something for like control. I don't know. I don't think Red Burn is really doing anything at the moment though. I think it's a cool card, but I just don't think, at least for standard or Pioneer, I'm not really seeing it. Maybe standard because you can always use more angels in standard, but I think you'll see standard play. Yeah, I'm seeing it in standard perhaps. I don't know outside of that, but it's a cool idea to have a white ley line on a creature. Yeah, the hexproof, the better part. But yeah, you have hexproof, so that's obviously what it's about, right? Like I said, it would stop hand disruption. It would stop like Invoke Despairs, like you name it. Those type of things. Anything that targets you, but still feels a little bit niche. I don't know. But the fact that it's a 2/3 angel for 3 and it's got flying and vigilance and there's some life gain stuff on it, it's quite alright. The lightning stream is basically 2 for 1. Yeah, sure, but like red needs to also clear the way and like, I mean, I don't know, maybe you wouldn't target this angel, I'm not sure, but yeah, maybe it needed flash or something is what I'm thinking as well. I don't know, I'm not very high on this card. I think standard might use it, but you know. Anyways, Spark Rupture, 3 mana enchantment, and it's a battlefield draw card. Okay, so it replaces itself. Each planeswalker with 1 or more loyalty counters on it loses all abilities and is a creature with power and toughness, each equal to the number of loyalty counters on it. What? Wait, what? Okay. That feels like a lore card. Like, I don't. I'm giving this like lore out of 10. Where is this relevant? Like, what can you do with this? Like, you know, everyone and their mothers like boards in like walkers against mono white. Mono white plays Spark Rupture and then wipes the board. Like, I don't, with a farewell or something. Like, is that how you want to go about it? Or like, do you see it as like a Super Friends finisher? I mean, not that like any of those seem super relevant. Yeah. 2 of the Wild Spark Planeswalkers are 3 mana, 7 loyalty. I do like the fact that it replaces itself. It is true. You play it before any walkers, other walkers in hand are dead. Kind of, not really. Planeswalker aggro. I'm giving this one lore out of 10. I'm sorry, like. I'm gonna give this one lore out of 10. I mean, maybe someone memes with it in like mana or standard or wherever else, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I would not want to open this. Exactly, I wouldn't. I'm not seeing it, besties. All right. Well, there's barely any cards in the set, so let's have a look at the last white card here. Tazri, Stalwart Survivor. 3 mana, 3/3 Human Warrior. Each creature you control has tap, add 1 mana of any of this creature's colors. Spend this mana on activate an ability of a creature. Activate only if this creature has another activated ability. Alright, that's a lot of hoops to jump through. Holy shit. I mean, the thing is, I see, like, these colors here, right? Like, all the colors on there. I'm already thinking, like, this is gonna be so Commander out of 10. Mill 5 cards with all creature cards with activated abilities that aren't mana abilities from among the milled cards into your hand. Like, this is just screaming Commander. Like, this is like a Catilda effect, but like super, super like limited to like activated abilities. And then this just gives you options for like, you know, whenever you play Commander, so you can play any color you want. Like, I don't know. For 5 mana, mill 5 cards with all creature cards with activated abilities. There are mana abilities from among the milled cards into your hand. Like, what the fuck? You want me to spend 5 mana to mill 5 cards and then put cards into my hand? And that's even relevant to the ones that aren't mana abilities. Among the milled cards into your hand. Like, I don't know. It's not giving. It's not giving. It's weird though, because like the top portion of the card, you can tap for to spend mana to activate an ability of a creature. And then activate only if this creature has another activated ability. And then this one does not want you to have creatures with mana abilities. I don't know. It's a very weird card. It's very nah, it's not for me. It's not me. It's not for me, but you know. Happy that it happened, or sorry that happened to you, I don't know. Filter out. 3 mana instant. Return all non-creature null-land permanents to their owner's hands. What the fuck? Return all non-creature null-land permanents to their owner's hand. Interesting. Classification pissed off too many players. Yeah, it's like a blue wipe almost. I mean, non-creature can be very relevant against the right deck. I mean, just like you replay all your battles, yeah. I don't know. It could be very relevant. I'm not sure at the moment. There's not really like a deck where I'm like, okay, this definitely wants this or whatever, but it could be really relevant. No, it's very weird. Back breaking for Paradox Engine. It's a bit of a weird one. I don't know. Instant speed is very nice. Yeah, that's true. Responds to farewell. Yeah, but then I'm thinking like farewell would rather just like throw a fucking counterspell in there than play filter out. Hit against enchantments in historic. Yeah, what are we thinking? Like 9 lives decks or something? I guess it could work against that. Maybe this is just like a hate card for 9 lives. Or something like that. But then do you really like filter out? Can you not just use like any other like bounce permanent card instead? It's a bit of a weird one. I'm not really sure how to feel about it. A hate card for Anvil? I mean, Anvil cares more about the creatures. And it's not like you could, they would just replay the Anvil too. It doesn't target, so it gets around the hexproof, right? Yeah, it gets around a lot of stuff because it doesn't target. But it's a very strange card. I mean, return our 0 CMC mana rocks. Yeah, I think it's a card that could very easily backfire on you hard. Like, this is. I feel either you want to play this card because you have a lot of cards that have like replay value, or you do it as like a final blow to win the game against something like 9 lives, right? Like, if you use this against 9 lives, then you have to win the turn after you use it. I don't know. Or I guess 9 lives is like when it gets removed from the battlefield or something like that. Or you win the game, or however that works. I'm not a 9 lives player, but interesting. Anyway, Tolarian Contempt, 5 mana enchantment. Sheesh. Enter the battlefield, put a rejection counter on each creature your opponents control. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent chooses up to 1 target creature they control with a rejection counter on it. Creature's owner puts it on the top or bottom of their library. Yeah, I mean, commander out of 10. Like, I'm not even gonna, like, what? Sure, whatever. Go ahead, I guess. Not relevant to me. Alright, what do we have here? 1 mana enchantment, Training Grounds. Activated abilities of creatures you control cost 2 less to activate. In fact, can reduce the mana and that costs to less than 1 mana. This is a reprint. I feel like, is that not like a... Is it like a... What is it? A reprint for like Commander? What's it for? I don't recall this being played in any formats that I play. Very expensive reprint. Yeah, I believe I heard that there was one in there. I guess it's discard. But what format is it relevant for? Like Commander? Yeah, Commander reprint. Right. EDH and casual word. Okay. I was about to say, like, I cannot see this anywhere. I don't recall it played and being played anywhere either. So yeah. All right, let's look at the next one. Vesuvian Drifter, 3 mana, 2/4, shapeshifter. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. At the beginning of each combat, you may reveal the top card of your library. If you reveal a creature card this way, Vesuvian Drifter becomes a copy of that card until the end of the turn, except it has flying. Ooh, I mean, that's an interesting one. That's a very interesting card. This could actually be really good. A 3 mana 2/4. That's great stats, at least for standard. That dodges like cut downs. Beginning of each combat, you may reveal the top card of your library. But I mean, we have cards to manipulate the top of the library, right? Like, do we not have like... What is that? How does Hitotsugu work? You're not just putting the tracks on the top? You're not just putting the tracks on the top? Like... I mean, it's always very valuable to be potentially playing off the top of your... I mean, you're not really playing at the top of your deck, but... Shapeshifter is valuable too. Like, that could work in Angels. No, but I mean, I'm not talking about like... guys, you guys are way too far ahead and way too greedy. I'm talking about like just having a 7/7 with like lifelink and vigilance and death touch. I'm not talking about the ETB effect. Like, I'm just thinking about like a really expensive creature. Like, I'm not saying like ETB. Like, you could do that when you draw the Atraxa. I'm just thinking like have it be a very strong creature or something. That could be quite fun. Or what do we have in standard as well? Do we not have like super expensive creatures that have like a high like toxic effect on there or something like that? You know, you just all of a sudden like having a flyer that's got like toxic like 8 on it or something. Like, I don't know. I feel like you could meme with this. I don't know how competitive it's gonna be, but I feel like it makes some memes happen. Yeah, or cards that like trigger upon attacking. Or what if you put that dinosaur on there, like the dinosaur Galta that we've been playing? Yeah, 18 power Yargle. Yeah, stuff like you could put some funny stuff with this maybe, but I don't see it do a whole lot more outside of being like a fun like meme-ish card, to be honest. Yeah, it looks like a Galta to me. Yeah, exactly. All right, well, that's it for blue. Definitely looking very uneventful, if I do say so myself. Why did white get 6 cards and blue got 4 cards? Red also gets 4 cards. What the fuck? I guess I'll have more multicolored cards because what the hell? All right, anyways. Let's have a look at black here then. Ayara's Oathsworn. Ooh, I love this art. Hold on. 2 mana, 2/2 Human Knight. Menace. Whenever Ayara's Oathsworn deals combat damage to a player, if it has fewer than 4 1/1 counters on it, put a 1/1 counter on it. And if it has exactly 4 1/1 counters on it, search your library for a card, put it into your hand, and shuffle. Okay. Seems like it does a whole lot. Holy shit, okay. Human Knight. Menace. 2 mana, 2/2 with Menace that can get a 1/1 counter anytime it connects to the face. And with exactly 4 1 counter, search your library for a card, put it into your hand, and shuffle. Yeah, I'm thinking this is a setup for Eldraine. As of now, like, the colors of 1/1 counters in Standard aren't really in black. So, like, there's not a whole lot of 1/1 counter synergy. Even though in, like, older, like, Pioneer, you do usually play black when you're playing 1/1 counters. I feel like it's gonna be more relevant for, like, either knights or, like, humans in Standard at some point. Like, I feel like it's just a setup for Eldraine. If anything, I'm sure, like, Knight Tribal will return, right? Maybe Ortsov humans wants this. It's a very cool card. But it reads like a standard card to me. It doesn't read like a card you'd want to play in any format where a Fatal Push is legal or anything. Yeah, the Warlord is infinitely better, for sure, for sure. Like I said, it just reads to me like a standard card. We don't have the right stuff for it just yet, I don't think. But I think in the future, especially like after rotation and with Eldraine's Knights dropping, we could do something maybe. Yo, Lavender, thank you so much for the sub. Appreciate you. This at first strike removes the 4th counter oath, adding the 4th counter back to sure. That's Disneyland vibes, but yeah, I don't know. This feels like a setup for the future. Let's have a look at the next card. Don't see it really relevant at the moment anywhere though. But good. Blot out. Target opponent exiles a creature or planeswalker they control with the greatest mana value among creatures and planeswalkers they control. 3 mana instant. No, I'd rather be playing Shelly's Edict or something. I don't know. Or like for 3 mana, just have like actual like exile removal. Like what do we have in standard right now? Like 1 black like exile a creature or planeswalker, and that also like works with enchantments and artifacts. And you can bring a card into your hand. Isn't Joe good enough? I'm sorry. The opponent also gets to decide what they want to exile. Nah. It's just not good enough. Not gonna cut it. Maybe if it was 2 mana, it would be interesting, but 3 mana. Yeah, no. Yeah, Ryan? Soul Exchange, but it's sorcery. Yeah, sure, but like for a sorcery, you would get so much more value out of it potentially. I mean, Like I said, it directly competes with Shelly's Edict, kinda, so... No. Anyways, up next, Death Rattle Oni. 7 mana, 5/4. Flash. Costs 2 less to cast for each creature that died this turn. When it ends battle, destroy all the creatures that were dealt damage this turn. What do you want me to do with it? What are we supposed to, like, compare this to? 2 less to cast for each creature that died this turn. You ping everything once with Devil. Yeah, but then you still have to have things die. You'd still have to... You still have to have things die in order for this to not be 7 mana. Like, when does this creature become reasonable? After 2 creatures have died? Like, then it's like 3 mana, 5/4? Like, that's when it gets good? You can flesh it in after a wipe. Yeah, like, either... Jump attack, jump block memes. Yeah, but obviously, like, you need things to die still is the issue, right? Like, I'm not paying 7 mana for this. Like, if it's 3 mana, I'm okay with that. Priest makes it a 1 mana, 5/4. Yeah, that's funny. But it's still, like, a fucking... Outside of all of this, it's just a 5/4. No menace, no vigilance, no nothing, no trample, no death touch. Don't block poorly with 3 creatures and it's free. Yeah, like I'm saying, this is not... The thing is, you can say... This set is not draftable, is it? Like, I don't think... This is not a limited set, though. It's just literally only for constructed. Unless I'm mistaken, but... Yeah, it's not... So, you can say, like, limited all-star, but... What limited? There's none. There's no limited for this set, so... Yeah, like, it's a limit... You're gonna say limited card printed in a set that's not intended for limited. So it's kind of just a bad card. Like, maybe something for Commander or something, but, I don't know, I'm not seeing this one, I'm sorry, guys. Like, there's too many conditions for this card to be like, wow. Like, it's no Massacre Girl, like, let's be real. Let's be real, it's no Massacre Girl, which is kind of what the card, like, reminds me of briefly, but, like, much worse. I don't know. Yeah. Sack plus end the festivities. Yeah, but I mean, the hoops you gotta jump through, like... This card, if you try to, like, think about Disneyland stuff like that, we had such an incredible card in Standard. What was it? Like, it was like a 2 mana, like 6/5 or something, and you could only play it when a creature died that turn. I don't remember what it was called. Maybe it was like a 5/4 for 2 mana. Anyways, that card never saw any play. And this card relies on having a bunch of other creatures, or like at least 2 other creatures die for it to become worth it. And then you need to deal damage on things to get the value from it. Like, and yeah, Grim Wanderer. And Grim Wanderer never saw any fucking play. Like, Wrath into this. See, I would much rather, like, bounce back from a Wrath with, like, a... What is that? Like, a Razorlash Transmogrant than play a Death Rattle Oni in my deck. Like... What is that? The Razorlash is a 4/2? Sure, I'd rather have something more flexible than a 7 mana 5/4 that relies on a bunch of, like, other factors to work. I'm not a fan of this card. Final verdict. It's gonna see no play. Final verdict. Yeah, not doing that. Anyways, Mark of Baron, and this is exciting because, a Vampire Lord. Anyways, 3 mana, 2/2, Vampire Noble. Also Convoke, so that's cute. Also Madness. So if you discard this card, discard in exile, and then you can pay it for 3. Other vampires you control get +1/+1. I like it. Vampire Lord, super easily, like, easily cast. Lifelink, even Madness. It's pretty sweet. And it's, yeah, non-legendary Lord. I mean, hell yeah, I'm here for it. It's a shame all, like, the vampires in standard are gonna rotate out, because I'd play this. Maybe I can, like, literally whip up, like, my standard vampire deck again and throw some of these in there, and, like, that standard vampire deck was so close every time to getting somewhere, but it just kind of missed the Lord, and now we have a super cheap Lord here. Yeah, you can flesh it in with blood tokens. Exactly, like, this is really good. Exact Ixalan on the way too, so we'll see more vampires in the future. Like, I'm a fan. Mark of Baron, you will def see play, like, oh my god, a cat's getting murdered or something. Anyway, I'm a fan, guys. Mark of Baron is great. So it's such, like, flexibility on it too. You can, I think you can Madness plus Convoke, yeah. And you do cast it for its Madness cost, or actually, if this discarded when you do cast it for its Madness cost. And then the creatures can help cast a spell. Does it work? Okay. Well, I'm just gonna have to trust chat on that one. Because Madness is casting, but it says casting it for its Madness cost, so not. I don't know how that works with Convoke. But I mean, I'm assuming it. Chat says it works, and I guess so. Sure. I trust chat then. I guess it works. Casting a spell using his Madness ability follows the rules for paying alternative costs in rules 601.2, whatever. Okay, so yeah, then I guess you can do both. Follows the rules for paying alternative costs. Well, there you go. That's pretty cool. I'm very excited to play with this card. I think we'll definitely play in stand. I mean, I don't know. Like, this could literally, like, buff vampire archetypes, like, everywhere, to be honest. Maybe some vampire decks are gonna get, like, back on the radar again. I mean, wouldn't surprise me. Definitely trying it in standard and explorer, so, or pioneer or whatever. Pretty good. All right, up next, Urborg Scavengers, 3 mana, 2/2 spirit. Whenever Urborg Scavenger enters the battlefield or attacks, exile target card from graveyard. Always nice. Put a 1/1 counter on it. Okay. Urborg Scavengers has flying as long as card exiled it with flying. The same is true for first strike, double strike. That attracts that count your days. Same is true for first strike, double strike, death touch, haste, hexproof, indestructible, lifelink, menace, reach, trample, and vigilance. Count your days, Atraxa. Holy shit. So basically should always enter the battlefield as, like, a 3/3. But shit, imagine hitting an Atraxa with that. Like, it's over. It's over, like. Wow. That is really powerful. That is really powerful, damn. Yeah, I'm a fan for that. I would probably play this card over, like, I mean, so like, it kind of, like, competes with, well, like, Graveyard Trespasser? Like, in standard, there's enough, like, graveyard stuff happening right now for this to be relevant. Like, worst case, what? You grab his shoulders, you get a Death Touch 3/3 or something, and, like, you could just keep building. Yeah, like, it could be a replacement. Like, that's one thing. I'm not sure if it's better. I would maybe even consider, like, if you're playing, like, Rakdos mid-range, I would maybe consider, like, a 2/2 split between Trespasser and, like, the Scavengers based on what the meta is like. Like, in the current standard meta, I would play, like, 2 of these in the main, maybe. Because there's so many Atraxa gamers everywhere, like, the odds of hitting an Atraxa with the Scavengers is super high. Evort is the reason Trespasser is played. Yes, but also just because it's, like, upon attacking, exile, stuff ability is just super good. But I mean, depending on what the meta looks like, you might favor this over the Trespassers because of the potential, like, Atraxa exile. You get hit an Atraxa with this, all of a sudden you get flying, you got vigilance, you got death touch. Like, all of a sudden you have an insane, like, 3-drop, right? With a bunch of, like, stats attached to it. So I guess it depends on the meta, whether or not this is gonna get played in, like, main or sideboard at the moment, but, I mean, after rotation, it will take Trespasser's place potentially, so. The fact it grows, yeah, this thing keeps growing, like, where Trespasser pings, this thing grows as a creature, which is quite cool, I don't know. I'm super high on this card. It's also a spirit, which is not, like, completely irrelevant to, um, older formats, potentially, but that's a good boy. That's a good boy. Anyways, let's have a look at red here. Arnie Metal Wait, was he not broken? Anyways, I don't know. What happened to him? Legendary creature, human berserker. 3 mana, 3/3. Whenever a creature you control attacks or a creature enters the battlefield under your control attacking, you may pay 2. If you do, you may put a creature card with mana value less than a creature's mana value from your hand onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking. Arnie's going through it, yeah. What I like about it is that Arnie doesn't have to attack himself. Like, you can just hold back with Arnie. I am it's an interesting card. It's giving jank a little bit, but I don't know. I love the art though, big fan, but I don't know how to feel about this card. Yeah, you'd need something with strong ETB effects to you really like get value from this. Tapped and attacking is always a bit dangerous though, so ish and EDH. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe like I think it's just like it's giving EDH to me. I don't know. It's weird because like obviously you still have to pay 2, right? So if I'm paying 2 to just have something onto the battlefield tapped and attacking, that's 2. Like I'd rather not. Like it gets valuable once a 4-drop attacks and you can play a 3-drop for 2. That's when you're like thinking about it, right? I mean, I don't want to unless it's like going to be like a surprise thingy or whatever, but the higher the creature with the higher the CMC the creature is that you're attacking with, the more valuable these cards become. So I don't know. You need a whole lot of, it's like a great like setup for this thing. I'm not really seeing it, but it's cool flavor. Cool flavor if anything. Yeah. Call again, Warmonger. 3 mana, 3/2. Another warrior. Haste. When it attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may fill a dragon card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. 3 mana, 3/2 with haste is not bad. That's not bad at all. More like dragon support? I mean, maybe. I don't know. Maybe Alduin's gonna have a lot of like dragons. Who knows? We should play it in the dragon deck. I would play it in a standard. Like I don't see this in any other format but standard. Let me make that clear. Because the 3 mana 3/2 is just not gonna cut it in older formats. But maybe if in standard dragons ever becomes a thing, I mean, looking at 6 cards is digging quite deep. Like you should almost always hit a dragon. I think. But I mean, there's currently no dragons anywhere. Like, it might just be a setup card for the future, but at the moment, I don't know. I don't know. Rip Alchemy Dragons. No, it's true. It's true. Alright, Plarg and Nasari. 5 mana, 5/4 Orc Efreet. Beginning over your upkeep, each player exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card. Opponent chooses a non-land card exiled this way. You may cast up to 2 spells from among other cards exiled this way without paying their mana cost. Hold up, where is my PhD? Hold on. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is like so EDH out of 10, like unlike anything I've ever seen. Like, you know, if I'm dropping this on commander on my turn and I go past 3 opponents, like sure I'll get my value from it or something. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't like it. I can see it in constructed. So congrats EDH players, I guess. Hope you're happy or something. Anyways. Reckless Handling. 2 mana sorcery. Reveal search your library for an artifact card. Reveal it, put it into your hand, shuffle. Then discard a card at random. An artifact card was discarded this way. Reckless Handling deals 2 damage to each opponent. These cards are so fucking weird. Yeah, like once again, like each opponent, like the second I hear them like specify that, Bestie, it's gonna be Commander out of 10. Like, no. All right, so far we're gonna go into green now, and then we're gonna go into multicolor. So far, I'm severely disappointed, but you know, hopefully the spice is coming up. We should have a look at green now. That was red. Anyways, Animist Might. 3 mana sorcery. Goes 2 less to cast if it targets a legendary creature you control. Target creature you control deals damage equal to twice its power to target creature or planeswalker you don't control. Pinkertons for this? Yeah! Like, damn, Bestie, was it really worth it like that? Shit. Like, damn, that's rough. Anyways. I mean, this seems really good. It's like, what, like 1 mana, like, fight? But then also, like, the fight you will almost always win because it doubles. But, or it doesn't even fight, it just deals damage to blah, blah, blah twice, yeah. Which is better, I guess. But it needs to target a legendary? I don't know how many legendaries we have in green. I can think of, like, Blissey, Migloss, and that's just thinking about, like, standard, I guess. Which is where I think green legendaries are the most, relevant. Holy K. Thalia could roll monster. This could be good. Thrun, yeah. This could be pretty good in, like, an Abzan Legends shell, maybe. Which I think Abzan Legends will be the more powerful, like, Legends deck after, like, a lot of, like, Capenna and, like, you know, Rafine and whatever else, like, rotates. So this could be a relevant card in the future for standard. Like, it should almost always be when build right, like a 1 mana removal. Most hopefully unlike anything you want. So that looks pretty good. This is a good card. Okay, Leyline Immersion. Ooh, Nissa, 4 mana aura. Okay, anyways. I don't even need to read this, like, throw it out. Anyways, whatever. Enchanted creature has Ward 2 and add 5 mana and any combination of colors. Spend this mana only to cast spells. The Gigantification. Yeah, Rona. That's what the hell do you need that mana for, though? Enchant Rona, keep casting legendaries. That's true, but what a setup! Like, what a setup. I'm not sure if I'm seeing it, my besties. I don't think I can see this card, but I don't know. I think there's so many more efficient ways to, like, ramp that don't rely on a creature surviving. Yeah, I mean, cute. Rona, I guess, maybe. I don't know. Alright, here we have Nissa losing her spark. Sheesh. What a crazy set. Crazy. Anyways, Resurgent Animus. 3 mana, 3/3 Nissa. Landfall. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, add 1 mana of any color. Ooh. Reminds me of that, like, Cobra or whatever it was. Snake. Then if this is the second time this ability has resolved this turn, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal an elf or elemental card. An elemental? Put that card into your hand and the rest of the bottom of your library in a random order. Ooh. Lotus Cobra plus some Omnas stuff. I mean, also, what, Risen Reef? Like, does, like, Modern Elementals want anything with this? I don't know how, like, I don't know if there's even any, like, slots available for this card in, like, Modern or something, but like, Risen Reef and whatever else? Yes, this will be played in Modern Elementals. Yeah, that's where I could perhaps see it. I mean, I don't know. Like, Elves, as I know it in, like, Pioneer, doesn't really want to play, like, it's more about ramping rather than playing lands. So it would have to be, like, an Elemental deck somewhere, and I can only think of, like, Elementals being relevant in Modern. I mean, like I said, my knowledge of, like, constructed formats doesn't really go past Modern, so I don't know. Cool card. Cool card. I don't know. I can't say a whole lot about it. Like, it's definitely not going to be super relevant to Standard. I mean, if it happens to be something in Pioneer, then perhaps um that would need to be like an elemental deck popping out or something. Yeah, like fetch lands or something like that. Play a fetch, get a Fury Solitude. Yeah, stuff like that, I guess, with the evoke elementals or some stuff like that. I don't know. Um yeah, not really relevant in my format. So it's tough for me to say something about the power, but definitely like an interesting card, that's for sure. Like the wrong thing again. Definitely an interesting card. All right, open the way. Oh, oh, Nissan Chandra. Oh, how cute. Oh, I love that art. They were roommates. X can't be greater than the number of players in the game. Wow, I wonder what that could mean. Wow. Reveal cards on the top of your library until you reveal X land cards. Put those in on. I don't even want to read it. Like, I don't want to read it. Anyways, reveal the cards on top of your library until you reveal X land cards. Put those land cards on the battlefield tab and the rest on the bottom. Like, okay. Playable and standard. What the fuck do you mean? X is like what? X is 2, get 2 lands? Like, I'd rather play that battle. Why would you play this over that battle? Like, come on. Reveal the top, not just basics. Yeah, sure, I guess, but I would rather just grab like basics of the colors that I need rather than like, you know, random look at revealed cards from the top and hope for the best. I mean, it's EDH out of 10. Like, I won't hear anything else. This is EDH out of 10. Like, argue with the wall. I'm so sorry. Like, I don't care that it grabs non-basics. I'd rather specifically grab a basic of the color I need than like, you know, RNG plus RNG and grab a non-basic. I mean, come on. Yeah, Invasion of Zendikar, like, grabs the crown for me on this one. I mean, it's funny though, because it literally says can't be greater than number of players in the game, and chat somehow still wants to find a way for this to be standard playable. Like, what more of a hint do you need that it's an EDH card? Like, I don't know. Anyways. Um, yeah. No, like Invasion of Zendikar, I don't know. Invasion of Zendikar will always be better. That's all. Anyways. Tranquil Frillback, 3 mana, 3/3 Dinosaur. Ooh. And it's better if you may pay green up to 3 times. When you pay this cost 1 or more times, choose that many. Ooh. Destroy target artifact or enchantment, exile target player's graveyard, you gain 4 life. Wow, that's really flexible actually. That's really flexible. Reminds me of Night of Autumn. It's a little bit more expensive than that, but it's also just in green. And you can like get more value from it if you like draw it later on. Right? Like Night of Autumn just looks you into choosing 1. You can pay 3 for this if you find it like later in the game. Or if it's gonna be relevant. That's good. Yeah, and the dino tag for Ixalan, like Okay, we stand. Like, this is a good one. This is a really good card. Ooh, we stand. That's great. This is more like it. Like, I can understand why the Pinkertons went after that person for this card. Like, I get it. Like, this is a great one. This is a really good card. All right, up next, Undercity Upheaval. Okay, 3 mana sorcery. Undergrowth. Distribute X 1/1 counters among any number of target creature control, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. As you cast a spell, creature you control gain vigilance until the end of turn. No. What? 3 mana, distribute 1/1 counters? I mean, I literally threw together a 1/1 counter deck in, like, standard, and I do not want this. Like, a screaming commander out of 10. Anyways, it's time to get into the spice here, you guys. Let's have a look at the multicolored cards, which is like the majority of the cards in the set, I think. So let's have a look here. Starting with Calyx, Guided by Fate. Oh, that's great art. 3 mana, 2/2, legendary enchantment creature, human druid. Constellation. Whenever Calyx and or another enchantment ends valve in your control, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Okay. Yo, Chalice, thank you for 23. Indeed. Whenever Calyx or an enchanted creature you control does common damage to a player, may create a token that's a copy of a non-legendary enchantment you control. Do this only once a turn. Oh, that seems that seems very powerful for an enchantment deck, actually. It's an enchantment itself and just allows you to like copy enchantments, even if it's just once a turn. That's very valuable, I think. I'm not really an enchantment gamer or whatever, but that seems very strong. Does standard want this? Like, I think most of the like valuable like standard enchantment cards are gonna be rotating out, but like, do you still want it for the time being? The enchanted creature needs to deal combat damage to a player, though, is where it gets tricky. But dang. Dang. The Celestial Enchantment girlies have been serving a 5 course meal. Yeah. Oh yeah, it says enchanted creature, not an enchantment. So it needs to be enchanted. Yeah, wait. It works more with auras. Okay, so that gets a little bit more tricky. You need to work with auras then. Hmm. Yeah, that's a pretty important word there. Enchanted instead of enchantment creature. Like a light paw deck or something? But does a light paw deck really look for like a three mana 2/2? I guess technically, if you go like all in on like auras, like on a creature with auras, then the 1/1 counters can also be quite relevant. Like if I can copy like a what is it? Like the Eldraine aura. What is the fucking name of it? What is that? Anyways, maybe you want to copy something like that. That could be huge. Yeah, all that glitters. Like you want to copy all that glitters? Something like that, maybe. So it's more like a Bogle's, like whatever, like card than it is an enchantment synergy card. Outside of like the 1/1 counters can be just relevant. Maybe this doesn't really matter too much. Or you can like just have some synergy in that, right? Like you can build an enchantment deck with this in mind and play some like auras. I don't know, it looks very flexible, looks pretty good too. I could see it in like maybe multiple formats. But I feel like it's definitely one of those cards that you need to like play and experiment with and then try to like maximize its value as much as you can. So it's tough to judge it, but it's definitely flexible enough to like be played in multiple formats. So alright, cool. Campus renovation. That's Strixhaven. Is that Strixhaven? I don't know. 5 mana. Oh yeah, lore hold? Anyways. Return up to 1 target artifact or enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Exile the top 2 cards of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play those cards. So it's just like artifact or enchantment revival? That does not seem worth it to me. What is the I'm pretty sure we have a 4 mana artifact or enchantment revival card in standard right now. That only requires like double white. I think it directly competes with that. What is the I forget the name. I'm so bad with names. I'm sorry, guys. No, I mean Invasion of Tovara can also do it, which is better, but we have is it like a yeah, repair, like something repair, recommission, repair and recharge? That's it. Yeah. Oh, that's also 5 mana. But that also grabs planeswalkers and gives you a power stone, and it's just in white, so I would probably prefer that over this. Anyways, sure, I guess. Sure, I guess. I think it's like the competitors will probably just make this card see little to no play, but cool. Cosmic Rebirth, 3 mana and Colors of Celestia. Alright, instant. Choose target permanent card in your graveyard. If it has mana value 3 or less, you may put it onto the battlefield. If you don't put it onto the battlefield, put it into your hand, you gain 3 life. So it's basically like 3 mana revive something worth 3, but it can be a target permanent. It can be any permanent. Light and Legacy. Greasefang? Does Greasefang want this? I don't know. I see Chet very hyped, and I understand like instant speed revival is pretty good, but I mean, I don't know what would play this. I'm pretty sure in standard we have like a 2 or 3 mana card that does a very similar effect that sees no play at all. The only play it saw was in like a what was it, like in one of those like festival like thingies? Yeah, recommission? Is that what it is? Recommission? That's from Brothers War, which is a 2 mana. Return target artifact or creature card mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. And you could give a 1/1 counter on it if it's a creature. And that sees no play. Despite it being a sorcery, it's 1 mana cheaper. It limits you into like artifacts or creatures, but that still seems like the better card to me for 2 mana, because at least you get 1 mana up from it, you know? If I'm reanimating a 3 mana creature with a 2 mana card and give a 1/1 counter on it, that's value. This is just like 3 mana, put a 3-drop into play, gain 3 life. Like, that's not very exciting to me. I don't know. It's definitely not bad, but no, it doesn't excite me very much, I fear. I'm gonna have to pass on that one. This one, I think. All right, Danita, new Benalius Light. Oh shit, the queen. Legendary creature, human knight. We're seeing a lot of knights. Interesting. Vigilance, trample, lifelink. Wow. Oh shit, that's a lot of stats for 3-drop. Once during each of your turns, you may cast an aura or equipment spell from your graveyard. Vigilance, trample, lifelink. So that would be like, this would be a card that you would throw your auras on, right? That's what I'm thinking. Like if I'm playing like Boggles or something, she would be my target because Vigilance, trample, lifelink. And then she also has you can play an aura equipment from your graveyard on it, so she'd be a target for that deck. But she starts at 3. It art slaps. It's true. Yeah, why are they giving so much like aura decks? What was happening here? Is that gonna be like Eldraine's like #1 theme or something? I don't know. Interesting card. Screams like a standard card to me though. Like I hate to say, but it does read like a standard card to me. Like perhaps standard, there will be like a Boggles that can standard or something, and like this will be a card that gets played in it, but Calyx plus Audacity? Yeah, like Anita and Calyx have like natural synergy, I think. So yeah, maybe you can make a deck out of that, I guess. I don't know. It's tough to judge this card's like power level. I mean, it looks like a good setup, but it obviously depends on everything that surrounds it and like the format and whatever else. Up next, Feast of the Victorious Dead. At the beginning of your end step, if one or more creatures die this turn, you gain that much life and distribute that many 1/1 counters. Okay. One or more creatures die this turn, you gain that much life and distribute that many 1/1 counters. That reads so wild to me. Like, what do you mean? Like, like there's some. I feel like there's like natural like anti synergy in like creatures dying and distributing 1/1 counters. Very good in sacrifice. Not really, because sacrifice doesn't work that way. Like sacrifice decks don't build up to have powerful creatures. Sacrifice decks win games by not going face. Does that make sense? Like if I'm playing a sacrifice deck, I'm like draining my opponent. I'm not going face with like chunky creatures. This expands that strategy. No, because we've seen a lot of cards in the past that have that exact strategy going for them and never saw play. Or like how many like cards are there in like Colors of Rectals that are like whenever a creature dies, give it a 1/1 counter and they see 0 play. They see no play because it just doesn't really work with the archetype in general. Like this is at its core, this is a 2-mana do nothing, right? Like unless you already have a whole setup like going for you. Like there's no replacement, no ETB effect. Like you need to have a creature die first, then you get some value out of it. I don't know. It's a weird one. Yeah, only on your end step. I don't feel like this is a very good card. It's a bit clumsy, yeah. Or it's off aggro insurance. Maybe if you're playing like an aggressive like Phyrexian aggro deck or something, but still like 2 mana. 2 mana do nothing. I almost feel like I would rather either A, play a creature, or B, play it at like white battle. That gives 1/1 counters, that guarantees you 1/1 counters on attackers and protects your shit, because it would be in the same slot as that. So I don't know. I'm not seeing it, I fear. I fear I'm not seeing it. Maybe in like Commander or something where, you know, the game goes on for much longer and like these enchantments become worth it more, right? I don't see it in any construct necessarily like standard or let alone like older formats and that, but maybe like there's probably like a niche commander deck out there where someone's like, wow, this is perfect for me because it goes on to like fucking turn number like 40. Some shit like that. I don't know. Um it counts opponent's creatures. Yeah, but still, like there's so many competitors and like not doing anything on turn 2 or like you would want to get this card down as fast as you can to get the most value from it, but then not doing anything like turn 2 or 3 or 4, I don't know. We move on. Goldforge Thopterix. Cute name. A Dinosaur Thopter. 2 mana, 1/3. Azorius Colors. Flying Lifelink. Each legendary permanent you control has a War 2. Sheesh. Interesting. Made an Ayara deck good? Nice. Interesting. I am lifelink. Each legendary permanent you control has War 2. But then it's not a legendary itself. 1/3 for 2. I feel a bit. The flavor text, yeah, the flavor text like very sad. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think you ever play this over another legendary. Like, I think you have Skrelv and Thalia, and they do a good enough job at protecting your shit. I don't think you need to have a Thopterix to protect your stuff like that. You know? It's also just like a 2 mana 1/3. Like, nothing's exciting about that. I love the flavor text though, but doesn't stop vibes. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's gonna be like a deck that focuses like an affinity type deck where like the artifact side and the top tier side are more relevant, right? And then you have some legendaries in there like hell, like Urza or like, I don't know, a Walker, like Tezzeret or wherever the fuck you're playing, where that becomes relevant. So it's not gonna be like a legendary supporter, but more like an affinity supporter. Um, because if I'm playing affinity and I have a 2-mana 1/3 flyer that with lifelink, I'm quite happy to have that. So not bad. Not bad. Definitely a standard card though. Anyways, moving on. Well, who is this baddie? Jarina, Dauntless General. 2-mana, 2/2 human soldier. Enters the battlefield, exile target player's graveyard. Sacrifice Jarina, humans you control, gain hexproof and indestructible on the end of turn. Yeesh. That's pretty fucking strong. Wait, she's in the same fit as General Kudrow, isn't she? Or something really close to it. Yeah, is she Kudrow's daughter? That's really strong though, like damn. How many humans does Legends have? Quite a few, no? But even like in general, like what do we have in like Pioneer? Like 5-color humans? Like a 2-mana 2/2 legendary human soldier. Hexproof and indestructible. That's General Kudrow's daughter. She's wearing the fit, I think. That's pretty good. That's pretty fucking good. There's banned Abzin 4-color, 5-color. Yeah. Abzin? Abzin soldiers? Like, it screams like a card that will be played. Like, it's a fucking 2-mana 2/2 that does protects your whole fucking board. Like, that seems very strong. On top of that, exile targets player's graveyard, because why the hell not, right? That's really powerful. Like, this, I could see, like... I mean, if I'm playing more than, like, mono-white humans and Pioneer or something, and I play black as well, like Abzin, this is, like... This could be really fucking clutch. Exiling cards because of reasons, yeah. Yeah. Standard soldiers loves to see it. Yeah, you'd have to play black in your soldier deck though, but I guess I don't know how easily that's splashed, but yeah, I think this card's gonna get played in multiple formats. That's a really good pickup for like any human or soldier deck, I think. So like a fucking 2-drop that like protects your board from being like hit by like board wipes is fantastic. So nice. Up next, Joriel, Voice of Zelfier. Does she not used to work with like Panthers in like the past? I don't know. 4-mana, 3/3 human druid. At the beginning of combat on your turn, up to one target land you control becomes an XX green and blue bird creature with flying and haste until the end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand, still land. Whenever a land creature you control does combat damage to a player, draw a card. I mean, screams like a commander out of 10 a little bit to me. A 4-mana 3/3 that... I mean, I guess she's still in green, so you could technically play her on 3, but like... She doesn't untap the lands either, right? And it's based on like the cards in your hand. I feel like this has to do so much. I don't know. You'd want to ramp into it, then make sure you have an untapped land that could attack. And then you need to... It's also based on like the cards in your hands. So, I mean, art fucking slaps. Like, what a legend. But card itself, not so much, I don't think. Yeah, rip. Anyways, me, a 5-color... How do I say this? Me, a Fires of Invention hater is like celebrating right now. Yo, Shefrix, thank you so much for the gifty. Appreciate you. Kenrith's Royal Funeral. Good riddance. No, I'm kidding. Like, I feel kind of bad, but also like, you know, by Kenrith, you know. When Kenrith's Royal Funeral enters the battlefield, exile up to 2 target legendary creature cards from your graveyard. You draw X cards and you lose X life, where X is the greatest mana value among cards exiled this way. And it's a 4-mana legendary enchantment. Legendary spells you cast costs 1 less to cast for each card exiled with the Kenrith's Royal Funeral. I mean, that's just fucking screams commander out of 10. I don't know, bestie. Like 4-mana enchantment. I mean, you draw a lot of cards, I guess, and, you know, a permanent, like, discount is not bad either. Um, yeah, it's definitely a card you have to build around. Like, the current version of, like, Legends is just way too fast for something like this. But, I don't know, maybe something will emerge? Maybe it's like a cyber card against like a control deck or something, or like mid range, where like you know the game is gonna go on for forever. So like I'll exile my AO, um, draw 5 cards, lose 5 life, get a discount. I don't know. Is that how it reads? Anyways, something along those lines. I don't know. Um, it's a weird card. Definitely needs to be built around. Maybe like sideboard. All right. Well, this is gonna be a sad one for a lot of people in the chat. Our Queen Kiora, losing her spark. This art slays though. Slay. Kiora, Sky's a sovereign of the deep. 5 mana, 4/5 Merfolk Noble. Vigilance, Ward 3. Okay, at least she's got Ward. Whenever you cast a Kraken, Leviathan, Octopus, or Serpent spell from your hand, look at the top X cards of your library. Like, where X is spell's mana value, you may cast a spell with mana value less than X from among them without paying its mana cost. The rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Yeah, Kira is finally like is happy and satisfied now that she doesn't get abused in like a mono green deck to untap Nykthos. She's back to her actually little tribal synergies where she belongs. Man, I mean commander out of 10, I guess. Like, I don't know, bestie. Like 5 mana, 4/5. And fucking like niche-ish creature types. Like, I don't know. Like, okay, well, thanks, I guess. God, and alright, well, let's have a look at this one. Nahiri, Forged in Fury. Affinity for equipment, so it costs 1 less gas for each equipment you control. 6 mana! Whenever an equipped creature you control attacks, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. You may cast equipment spells this way without paying their mana cost. Fucking hell, 6 mana? Doesn't protect itself? Never an equipped creature you control attacks, exile the top card of your library. Affinity for equipment. So you need for each equipment you control? Like equipment tribal? Like what the hell? What do you mean 2 mana? What the fuck? Nah, like there's yeah, what the hell? Equipment tribal? Like where? Good old giggle, yeah. Yeah, it wasn't like this whole set gives me the exact same flavor as March of the Machine, where it's just a bunch of commander cards and a couple like constructed staples. So like the commander players will be buying in the most. And like the constructed gamers have no choice but to get in on it too, because they need some of the staple cards for their decks. Which is why you see these like nutty like humans, right? Like anyone that plays humans is gonna have to pick up the 2 mana 1+1+0 and Word Lord. Like what the fuck? You're gonna have to pick that up. I mean, fortunately it's a uncommon, but it's mostly literally just commander cards with some like super strong shit for constructed. So like you have kind of no choice but to like buy into it, right? Anyway, Nahiri's Resolve. 5 mana enchantment. Jesus Christ. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and have haste. 5 mana +1/+0 and haste. Beginning of your end step, exile any number of non-token artifacts and or creatures you control. Return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control at the beginning of your next upkeep. Like, commander out of 10. Like, what the fuck? I don't know, man. 5 mana +1/+0 and haste? Thanks, like. I don't know, bestie. Jank rares, yeah. Anyway, here's Narsat. Hey, queen. 4 mana, 3/4 human monk. Creatures you control have prowess. Whenever Narsat Enlighten, exile attacks, exile target non-creature non-land card with mana value less than Airset's power from a graveyard and copy it. You may cast a copy without paying its mana cost. So whenever she attacks, exile target non-creature non-land card, mana value less than Narset's power from a graveyard and copy it. Non-creature non-land card. So what's she snatching? Like instant sorceries? Enchantments? What am I skilling with this? Kiki? Planeswalker? Battles? Stormseeker into this is sick. Yeah, AHE, Stinker to 15. It's another prowess trigger. Yeah, this is not bad. It's a bit expensive and does not protect itself or replace itself immediately. But that is not bad. Yeah, it's any graveyard, so you can steal your opponent's shit. Stealing opponent's Invoke Despair. Well, you'd have to, with mana value less than Narset's power from a graveyard, so you'd have to, like, buff Narset up quite a bit in order to snatch something like that, but it's definitely an interesting card. Yeah, the set's very tiny. It's a very tiny set, mostly, like, multicolored cards. It's interesting. I don't know. It's either, like, gonna be hit or miss. Very hit or miss, because it also looks you straight up into, like, Jeskai colors, and you're gonna need everything like that on curve. I don't know, bestie, like... It's definitely not bad. I currently am cannot think of a deck that wants this, but... Definitely not bad. Alright, another banger here. Nashi Moon's Legacy. Oh, is that Tamio? A 3-mana 3/4 with Menace and Ward 1. Now we're fucking talking. Like, this gets interesting now. Whenever Nashi attacks, exile up to one target legendary or red card from your graveyard and copy it. You may cast a copy. That's interesting. Menace makes it much more easy to connect to the face. Ward protects itself. Like, we all know Ward 1 is quite a relevant keyword after, like, looking at Rafine. Except to one target legendary or red. Like, that's very flexible. Like, it doesn't imply that legendary creatures are reds. Yeah, that's solid. Yeah, like, a 3-mana 3/4 is good stats. Menace, Ward 1, like... Legendaries would easily pick that up. You may cast a copy. Like, that's great. That's great. I love this one. Big fan of it. I think Legends would easily pick this up. I mean, you're in, like, Sultai colors, though. So that means... I mean, we are already seeing 4-color legendary decks. Like, I mean, I played a couple, like, 4-color legendaries myself. Like, you're just literally playing, like, Esper Splash Green at that point, right? So that gives you then Beseiju, you get Galissas, you get the Thalia and Gidrog, so... 4-color Legends is already being played, and, like, I'm pretty sure that Legends would have no issue, like, splashing for, like, Nashi or something, or Galissa and throwing Besejus in a deck, too. Yeah, it just attacks except one target legendary or red card from graveyard. Like, you could get, like, a Planeswalker or something, too. Like, it's pretty good. It's good. I like it. Very powerful. I think this could just get played in, like, a modern, like, Legend shell, to be honest. Wouldn't be surprised if in, like, a couple weeks from now, people are, like, the norm is gonna be to become, like, play 4-color Legends rather than, like, Esper Legends. That's very strong. Holy shit, alright. Red's taking over. Niv Mizzet Supreme. Alright, Niv is back. 5-mana, 5/5 Dragon Avatar. Flying Hexproof monocolored. Each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard that's exactly 2 colors has Jumpstart. Oh, that's interesting. Hexproof monocolored is quite relevant. Most removal cards out there right now are just monocolored, right? Or, like, removal cards in general are just monocolored. Interesting. Each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard that's exactly 2 colors has Jumpstart. I don't know how good that is. I don't know how much this is worth 5 mana and playing 5 colors, but it's cool. Maybe you just toss in like a Nif the Light deck or something as like a one-off and give yourself the opportunity. I don't know. Like I don't hate that. I don't know how many like 2-drops or blah, 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 2 colors jumpstart. Now that's quite relevant. I could see this like in a couple of Nif the Light maybe. Not bad. Yeah. All right, well, arguably potentially the most valuable card in the whole fucking set. My boy. My boy, Ashlizzlle Captive Kingpin. 4 mana, 4/3 legendary creature, demon, flying and trample. Whenever one or more opponents each lose exactly 1 life, put a 1/1 counter on Ashlizzlle Captive Kingpin. Exile the top card of your library until your next end step, you may play that card. This dude is gonna be like life-changing for any sacrifice in any format, I think. It's literally kind of like a Corvold, but with like different upsides. Like this works with a Mayhem Devil ping to the face. This works with like bringing a cat back. In standard, this works with Envil. This works with Voldaren Epicure. Like, it's just an incredibly like relevant card. Thing is, it has flying, it has trample. Like this grows so fucking quickly. It's not limited to like 1 card a turn either, right? Like this, you can literally ping as much as you want, get a whole bunch of cards in the exile, whatever you want to play out of it, you can do. Like, yeah, people are also talking about the obvious like infinite combo with all be one. Put a 1/1 counter on all be one deals 1 damage to the face, another 1/1 counter on Ob. So that's gonna be like an infinite combo situation that happens there. I don't know how. I mean, infinite combos tend to be quite good. All be one is in red, so you could technically just play like an infinite combo deck like that in. I mean, maybe like Chund or something where you can like ramp into it. Because it will almost always be like drop all be one, then play like Ashlizzlle plus like Voldaren Epicure or something like that. But I mean, this card is fucking incredible. Like, Sacrifice really cares about, you know, drawing cards, and this is just also like incredible finisher. The only downside to me about this card is where Corvold dodged Fatal Pushes, Ashlizzlle does not. Obviously, it also says until your next end step, so you know, if you play it on turn, like, you know, the turn that you play it, you're not gonna grab something from it, but you know, you can start, if you do on your opponent's turn, like start working with like putting like pinging your opponent, then you can cast all the cards exiled with Ob. Yeah, in standard there's like a bunch of cards, like Kumano triggers this, Trespasser triggers this. Like there's a lot of ways to get a 1/1 like 1 ping in standard. I mean, you have End of Festivities. You could even play this at like a top end card in like mono red, but then obviously splash black. But you can Grixis control with this and all be on come over a bunch of counter spells. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of ways to build this. Like, but at least I'm excited to try it out in standard sacrifice, pioneer sacrifice, and obviously like see if the all be one combo has anything going for it. Like, it's very good. Painland. Yeah, it's a very, very exciting card, and it's gonna grow super fucking quickly. Like, I think Ob might have the same like remove or die rate that Shouldered has, if not more. If not more. I mean, if you leave this Ashlizzlle unchecked, not only is it gonna fucking kill you, but also give your opponent like every card they might need from the deck. Yeah, I think this is by far the most powerful card from the whole set, I think, and like the potential of it is incredible. We all know, like, despite everyone and their mother specking a shitload of removal for Shoulder, she still just wins games. And this card super easily replaces itself anyway. It's just a little bit expensive for like decks that might want it, but outside of that, like, what an incredible fucking card. Like, I expect a lot of brews on my end with this card. I'm the most excited for this. Huge W for Reckless Enjoyers, for sure. We stand. Alright, what do we have here? Pia. 2 mana, 2/3 legendary creature. Top players you control have haste. They would play a land from exile or cast a spell from exile, create a 1/1 colorless Topter. Well, there we have Ashlizzlle synergy. Obstopters. That's funny. Wait, so how do they synergize? Like someone in the chat asked it. Like how does it work with a bunch of 1/1s attacking? Whenever you play a land from exile or cast a spell from exile, create a 1/1 cooler to stop their artifact. That's pretty fun, actually. This is a really fun card. But I also think you shouldn't underestimate it. Like, what do we still have in standard? Do we not still have Saheeli and stuff? This is pretty fucking strong, actually. Cast a spell from exile is quite easily done. Like, you have a bunch of cards in red that allow you to, like, cast from exile. Dang. All right, Pia, like, we see you, like... It's kind of unfortunate a lot of the, like, what do we have in standard right now? I think we still have the from Kamigawa, what is it, like, the 2-drop whenever, like, that gives, like, like, buffs your card up +1/+1 based on how many artifacts or enchantments you have? I mean, if you create a shitload of Topters, that could be an incredible, like, finisher, you know? 2 impulse, yeah, exactly, like, you have the not Nahiri, the Ren one and the Reckless Impulse? Yeah, Michiko's Rain. I mean, there's a lot of, like, really fun stuff that you can do with this. I'm excited. Like, this is definitely, like, a build-around card. That shows a lot of potential. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, we have the Topter battle as well. That creates one. This is really fun. Okay, we have had 2 incredibly, like, exciting cards back-to-back now. Show us the commander cards. Oh, there's one. Rebuild the city. 6 mana sorcery. Thanks. This better be better than Invoke Despair. I'll be throwing hands. Choose target land. Create 3 tokens that are copies of it, except they're 3/3 creatures in addition to their other types. Vigilance and Menace. Affected by Summoning Sickness. Boo. What the fuck do you want to do with this? Choose to create 3 copies. What? 6 mana sorcery. Copy target land. Create 3 tokens that are copies of it. I guess you're throwing, like, 9 power on the board for, like, 6 mana, but... 3 Lotus Fields. I mean, I doubt Lotus Fields wants that, but, 6 mana. Did it really make a lands with summoning sickness mechanic to mess with players and cause arguments IRL? Yeah, apparently. At least they make it clear. I don't know, man. I don't know how to feel about this. Maybe someone in Commander is like, "Nut, I needed this," but it definitely isn't me. I don't know. All right, who is this? Rocco, Street Chef. 3 mana, 2/4, and a Colors of Naya, an Elf Druid. At the beginning of your end step, each player exiles a top card of their library. Until your next end step, each player may play that card they exiled this way. Whenever a player plays a land from exile or casts a spell from exile, you put a 1/1 counter on target creature and create a food token. What the fuck? What do you mean? Wait, what does this want to do? Each player exiles a top card of their library. Until your next end step, each player may play that card they exile this way. I mean, hate giving my opponent cards, so that's the first thing. So what do you get? You give your opponent a card, right? And then what do you get in return? You put a 1/1 counter on a creature and get a food token? I mean, honestly, I'm happy to see food tokens back. That's probably like a huge tease for Eldraine, but... What the fuck? Like, what does this synergize with? Like, do you want cards like, what is that little boy called from Kamigawa? You know, the... Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on this thing? Like, is that what you want to do? Yeah, like a 1/1 counter, but you also create an artifact, so maybe like 2 1/1 counters. But yeah, exactly, like... I agree with that, Luch. Traditionally, these aren't great effects because your opponent the opportunity your opponent gets to use the card first. Yeah. Any way to stop your opponent casting from exile. Yeah, Drenith Magistrate combo? Like, is that really worth it? Because then you also completely miss out on like the 1/1 counter and food token stuff. I don't know. I mean, I personally am not the biggest fan of giving my opponent cards, especially when they get to use them first. So I don't know. Mugwort, thank you for the sub. This is not for me. What a weird card. I don't know. Thank you for the 7, Mugwort. Appreciate you. It's not for me, guys. We move on. So Vizier of Nakatamun. Slay. 3 mana, 2/3, legendary creature, human, warrior, cleric. First strike, vigilance, haste. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage player, if that creature entered the battlefield this turn, draw a card. Three mana, 2/3, first strike, vigilance, haste. First of all, should have been a 3/2. That's the first thing. Like, it's a shame it's a 2/3. I wish it was a 3/2. Because then you'd be talking about something. Yeah, haste tribal. To be fair, we have a lot of haste cards right now in standard. Like, there's a lot of haste cards. It's a lot of haste cards, so that is good. Yeah, Phoenix Chick. Phoenix Chick, Bloodfeather Phoenix, Felden, Kumbano enters with haste. Actually, I don't know if that works that way with the transform, but we still have the werewolf that hastes, Raiju. I wonder if you care that much about. No, I mean it's a very interesting card. I'm not sure because it does look you in Gruul, but it's incredible with the Stormseeker because that could literally give any creature that you cast haste, right? So it's good with that. Good with that. Starkin, Soul Aflame. Oh, my boy. 3 mana, 2/4. Dragon spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Okay. Whenever dragon enters the battlefield under your control, you may have Starkin become a copy of it until the end of turn. Except its name is Starkin Soul Flame and it's a legendary in addition to its other types. Man, it would have been OP in Game of Thrones. It's true. I don't know how to feel about this. Seems like a commander card for me. Like I want to play a commander dragon deck. Sure, I'll have Starkin as my commander. Have everything be cheap and have like a cool like ETB effect. I don't know. Like it EDH out of 10. Unfortunately, I mean, it's kind of frustrating to me. Like I love dragon like decks in Magic, and it's always just dragons at the moment is more like an EDH thing for them. I fear, but okay. Like, whatever, I guess. Happy for you, EDH players. I don't know. Sigarda, she's back. Fonts of Blessings. 4 mana, 4/4 Angel. Other permanents you control have hexproof. Ooh. So she's kind of like a, there has been like a 4 mana Angel that had that effect. And so, yeah, Shalai, exactly. That was played a lot back in the day. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast angel spells and human spells from the top of your library. Sheesh. That's very good. Damn. That's really powerful. Hexproof to other permanents. That's literally like Shalai on like fucking steroids. I don't know. Look at the top card anytime. Cast angel spells and humans. Wow, sheesh. That's a better Shalai. Very nice. Very nice. I mean, I'm envisioning a deck where I'm playing like Sigarda and like Aaron and Giada in the same deck. Might not. This is gonna go like fuck Esper. We're playing Bant. Like I'm not playing Black anymore. We're playing Bant for real. Or I guess you're just playing Bant and then maybe like slight splashes for kicking the angel. I'm brewing that. Like you bet on it. I'm brewing with this card. I'm brewing with that. Bent Angels, like I'm on my way. Like that's great. That's really good. I mean, I could even see her in Commander, but like for Constructed, she's got a shitload of potential too. Casting spells from the top of your library and giving shit hexproof, like, alright, girl, like, can Giada save angels? Maybe. Nah, you can get it with Coco, unfortunately, but that's great. Holy shit, that's great. Absent angels? Yeah, maybe something like that. I think you'd want to play Errant and Giada, though, if you're doing it in standard. I wonder if this card we'll see playing like Pioneer or something. Not sure. Not sure. It's very strong, like attracts off the top, easy. Nah, that's incredible. I love this card. Very good. Okay. Tyvar. Well, Tyvar lost his spark too. Dang, kind of shit. Alright, well. 4 mana 5/4 elf warrior. And whenever one or more elves you control attack, they gain death touch until the end of turn. Each creature you control has whenever a mana ability of this creature resolves, put a number of 1/1 counters on it equal to its amount of mana its creature produced. Triggers only once each turn. What the fuck? Some of these cards are so fucking wild. Like, what the hell? So death touch on my elves, and whenever one of my dorks uses its ability, put a 1/1 counter on it, equal to the amount of mana it produced. I mean, that's probably like that could get nutty with what are those fuckers called that like tab based on the amount of elves you have? Like that gets nutty, but I mean, you would have like a chunky elf. Still needs like trample, I guess. Yeah. You could use it on one. I don't know if this elves really need this. Like, do we not just want to like ramp into playing like a whatever that bomb is that like elves play that gives everything like +5/+5 and trample or something. I don't know. You're a bit confused about what's his pivot to focusing on creatures so much, like the most removal heavy standard I've ever seen. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I cannot see elves playing this card. I cannot. Like, I'm sorry. I think elves is just too busy doing other things. Either you're draining with elves or you're casting Crater Hoof. That's the name of the card. I don't think you're casting Tyvar to like buff up a dork that but I mean, I'm right. Like, let's have some fun, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, not sure. Anyways, look who it is. Karn, Legacy Reforged. 5 mana, legendary artifact creature. Quick, kill it. Kill it before it turns into a walker. Like, kill it. Anyways, power and toughness are each equal to the greatest mana value among artifacts you control. Beginning of your upkeep, add colorless for each artifact you control. This mana can be spent to cast non-artifact spells. At the end of turn, you don't lose this mana steps and phases. And for 5 mana, though, god damn, like the greatest mana value among artifacts you control. Gonna ramp. Yeah, I mean it's a 5/5 minimum. I'm like just thinking just like mono green ones, but no way because it's just limited. Can't be spent to cast non-artifact spells. At the end of turn, you don't lose this mana. Steps and phases end. What do we have in standard? We have not big red. It's the is that deck? Is that Power Stone control deck? Do you want that? Like, what can you get out of this? Is it like, yeah, maybe something like that? Does it want to be played in there with like skitters and um yeah, might some weak stone stuff? It's a tough one. Yeah, Cityscape Leveler. Yeah, like Power Stones, maybe? Like, if you could get this card into play earlier with Power Stones, maybe it's gonna be good. But, anyways, we're already at the last card of the set here, guys. Have a look at what it is. The Dranith Ruins. Lord, okay. You can get a colorless mana, or put 2 1/1 counters on target non-human creature that entered the battlefield this turn. Alright. What a weird conclusion to a very weird set. Yeah. What a weird conclusion. Alright, let me see if I can get some of the all-stars on the screen here. Cards that I think will make an impact. Alright, starting with number 1. Well, not number... This is not the ranked, but let's just go over the cards that I think will make an impact on Constructed, which is... I mean, Constructed formats that are relevant to me, which is mostly Standard, Arena formats, and Pioneer. Maybe Modern as well, but I'm not too knowledgeable in, like, Modern, even though I've played it a little bit, but... coming up here, we have Coppercoat Vanguard. This card's definitely getting played multiple formats and will be an absolute staple, I think, and anything that where humans or soldiers will be relevant. So that's my first contender here. I guess I want to highlight this card as well, the Uroborg Scavengers. Mostly for its, like... I mean, it's got standard potential, but what if you just, like... What if you grab a Perihelion with this thing? What happens if you grab a Perihelion? Also pretty good, right? Like, this could get pretty relevant, especially, like, after, like, Trespasser rotates. But even in the current Atraxa format, this card's gonna get played, so I like it. I think this is also one of the better cards from the set for Constructed. Here we have another one, Animist Might. Just kind of like the 1-mana fight spell, as long as you... Well, not really fight, but deal damage to removal spell. As long as you build it properly. Definitely one of the better cards. Like, I mean, good removal like that in green is, like, always welcome, I guess. What else do we have? Let's see. Oh, this one's definitely on there as well with one of the most powerful creatures. The Tranquil Frillback. 3 mana, 3/3 that had the you may pay green and then you can choose pay this cost 1 or more times, choose up to that many. So then you have artifact or enchantment removal, exile graveyard, or gain for life. Which is so versatile. Great at any point that you cast it. Like, you can cast it on, like, turn 4 and then do one thing, or cast it on, like, 7 and do, like, or 6 or whatever and do everything, right? The Dinosaur tag will obviously, like, also be very relevant in the future for Standard as well, when we go to, like, Ixalan or whatever else. I guess, do I want to point these out to? Probably not. Yeah, I guess we highlight this girly as well, because I think just incredible potential, like Arena Dauntless General. I wonder if this might make Pioneer humans play black as well. I wonder, I don't know. Or maybe as, like, a sideboard thing. I'm not sure, but I mean, at least, like, 4-color or, like, Absent Humans definitely picks this up. Like, that's very powerful protection for, like, all your soldiers, and has, like, the exile effect, which is quite relevant in at least Pioneer. I wonder if soldiers is maybe going into, like, black in Standard? I don't know. Definitely a card worth playing. Okay, we have Nashi. Also gonna see a lot of play, at least in Standard. So we are excited for the rat. Yeah, I forgot the vampire thingy. That's a good one, actually. That one's definitely on my list of, like, incredible cards to pick up from March or Aftermath. Yeah, anyways, there it is. The Markov Baron. Probably one of the more powerful vampire lords ever. Like, the versatility on it is insane. Super cheap lord, has lifelink. You can, like, discard it cast it for its madness cost, and then cast the madness cost with Convoke. Like, there's so many options. People said it before, like, you know, discard it to a blood token, like, flesh it into play, right? Also, there's Lord. I mean, hell yeah, we take those. Definitely one of the better cards. Obviously, I deem this card the most powerful one out of the whole set, at least for the formats that I play. Ashlizzlle. Captive Kingpin, I mean, I think it's gonna have a same impact to, like, games as Shoulder does in sets where this, or, like, decks where this card can be relevant. So, get your removal ready, I guess. Not only for Shelly, but now also for Ashlizzlle. I think it will make an impact in at least Standard and Pioneer, so... Anyway, I also want to highlight Pia. I think she's good. I think she's really good. I mean, there's so many, like, cards or, like, where you can cast out of exile with. And if I do that and I get a 1/1 Topter with haste out of it, which is also an artifact, and I do all of that for the cost of, like, 2 mana and have it be a 2/3, like, Pia seems very stacked. So I have high hopes for her. Yeah, and then last on the list, cards that'll make an impact from Aftermath Unconstructed, Sigarda. We spoke about that, like, super briefly, but this thing does too many things to not see play. And already, at this point, we already know that 4-drops are very fucking relevant and super easily played in Standard, and as long as you have a 4-drop that makes a long-lasting impact on the game, talk about Shelly, talk about the new Ob, I think Sigarda is one of them as well. She does so much, and, like, casting off the top of your library is always very welcome, so... Especially if you combine it with Aaron and Giada, which also cast from the top of the library, so... There's some very exciting cards. I mean... in general, though, I mean, out of, what is it, like 50 cards? Despite those cards, I feel like it's still a very, very weak set. I mean, usually, I'm always, like, the type of goodie that says just buy the fucking singles anyway. But, like, I cannot see myself purchasing a box unless it's, like, you know, maybe Commander players. Maybe Commander players, I don't know. Like, the value of the set, I think, is incredibly low. I mean, yeah, it just screams Commander set out of 10. You cannot even, like, you know, sometimes I buy a set and then, you know, make sure I'm looking for some cards, but at least I can do, like, mini, like, sealed or, like, draft tournaments with it, but that's not even relevant because this set is not, like, limited is not a format where you can play with these cards. So, I don't know. I mean, yeah, a bit underwhelming. I guess it's another, like, nice one for the Commander players, I guess, but was it worth for Wotzi to, like, raid that dude's house with Pinkertons for this set? No. No. It wasn't. There will be Aftermath Infused Mom Limited. Sure, I guess. Was that on, like, Arena? But it's not like a set you can just draft by itself, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, like, it's truly not something worth, like, buying, I don't think, as long as... I mean, maybe for the Commander gamers, I don't know, I mean... Maybe for the collectibles, I don't know. Are there gonna be, like, alt styles, at least, or... Is that not a thing? Okay, so we have this. Hold on. Sorry about that. So there are some, like, alternative styles, but they look like... They just look like this. So that's... I mean, not incredibly exciting. At least these aren't. I guess you have this stuff, but... Like I said, like, there are some cool ones in there, like, same, like, relevancy to, like, the planes as, like, the March of the Machine cards, but, like... I mean, it doesn't really entice me to, like, buy into it anyway. Like, I'm sorry. I mean, it's obvious kind of fire or whatever, but yeah. Bunch of collectibles, I guess, but I don't know, guys. I mean, what are your thoughts on what we're looking at right now? Because yeah, not very exciting for me. Despite there being a couple cards that will be relevant in constructed, it's more like a commander set. So congratulations, commander players. I guess you'll stay the relevant target audience for another set release. I guess. Even as a primarily commander player, it's incredibly underwhelming. Yeah. Because I guess even from like a commander POV, they just give you a couple extra commanders with potential, right? Like it's not even as if they're like necessarily giving you great cards that you can toss in a bunch of commander decks. It's literally just a bunch of commanders that they're giving you. So if anything at all, at that, you gotta understand the point of set. It ties together a story spanning a bunch of different planes. Yeah, exactly. Like that's the whole thing. It feels like a Magic DLC, but it's like a DLC that robs you. It's like a DLC that robs you a little bit. I don't know. The one of the worst things about it for me at least is that the fact that it comes so quickly after Aftermath. It kind of like spoils the fun. Like I'm still having fun playing with the new cards, and now like on the 12th we're getting a bunch of new cards added. I mean, not that they're doing a whole lot, but like put it right in the middle between March of the Machine and Eldraine. Because the drought we're gonna get from like Aftermath till Eldraine is gonna be fucking long. Like that's gonna be a long, long time with no like new cards. Well, I guess you have the Lord of the Rings stuff that comes out, but that isn't really like super relevant for me at least. Um yeah, anyway. I find it a bit sad. It's so quickly after like March of the Machine. I think Eldraine is September. So